Well, we have a couple of systems lined up in the Pacific that will affect much of the country, the West Coast and the central U.S. and the eastern U.S. with rain, snow, and everything in between. So some pretty bitter cold across the north central U.S., the first real Arctic outbreak of the winter season. These were temperatures earlier this morning, basically low temperatures, 20s below zero in northern Minnesota, and then of course extending into the prairie provinces of Canada. And that cold air sweeping across the Great Lakes means more lake effect snows too. Those temperatures 10 to 30 degrees below normal in the grasp of that Arctic air mass, and that helps to really push moisture out ahead of it. We've been seeing plenty of moisture for the southeast and the eastern U.S. Highs today are going to be just barely above zero for places like Minnesota, Wisconsin. Northern Minnesota and North Dakota will stay below zero all day long, but that cold will be departing here pretty quickly. And we've been talking about how warm the Great Lakes are. This is from NOAA a couple days ago. Record warmth in the Great Lakes, helping to contribute to even more energy and instability and moisture for lake effect snows. So they've been seeing a ton of it already. And over the next 36 hours, additional snowfall here of anywhere from a few inches to a foot for places like Erie, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, New York, UP of Michigan, some of those typical spots. But that will subside a bit for the weekend as warmer air moves in. That Arctic air departs. We're going to see anomalous warmth replace that here for the central and eastern U.S., a milder Pacific air mass. In fact, most of the country here over the course of the weekend will see above normal temperatures again. But we're watching two different systems in the Pacific, a fairly active pattern here developing. We've got one reaching the west coast right now, and another one just south of Alaska that'll be moving in. This will affect the central U.S. here early next week. So two of them lined up, sort of a train of storm systems here that'll be affecting much of the country. So we'll start with the upper level pattern, that energy that from that wave moving across the Rockies here into the central U.S. and the plains by Saturday. This is going to create a mix of rain in the southern end, but also a wintry mix, ice and snow on the northern end. And then this is that system lined up behind that one for early next week, again affecting much of the north central U.S., but also the southeast too. So rain and snow for the west coast today with that system, and then that will kind of break apart across the Rockies and then redevelop here. Heavy rain in the south, rain, ice, and snow for the northern states here. And then that Monday system will bring some snow to the north, but then a prolonged period of rainfall here from the southeast all the way through the mid-Atlantic and the northeast. So several inches of rain for northern California along the coastlines, and a few inches of rain as well up into the Oregon and Washington coastlines, but heavy snows in the Sierra Nevada, measuring in feet, as is typical with these systems. Same thing here for the Pacific Northwest into the mountains of Oregon and Washington. Also a couple of feet of fresh snow too, and this really charges those reservoirs, of course, especially in California. So this is all good news that they continue to get some heavy snow, in addition to the ski resorts. But that Saturday system is going to produce potentially an icy coating. Places like Omaha, Des Moines, the Twin Cities, Rochester could be dealing with a little bit of ice on Saturday. But also the potential for some slushy snowfall accumulation too. This is a wide variety of possibilities though. Maybe just an inch or two. This is the European model, but the North American model has had as high as several inches of slushy snow too. So the models are still trying to figure out these borderline temperatures aloft, but it does look like we will see a variety of precip in Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin here Friday night into Saturday and Saturday night. And again, in the southeast, it's going to be a ton of rainfall. Thunderstorms and showers will produce several inches of rain. This is good news because a lot of these areas were in drought on and off this year. So active weather continues, and getting our first Arctic outbreak out of the way too for the north.